God is described as jealous. Does that sound right? He's described as jealous in a number of Old Testament passages, but maybe most notably in the 10 Commandments. All the commandments can be summarized, if needed, into the first one, where it says, "You shall have no other gods before me." Jesus summarized the commandments into 2 when he basically said, love God and love people, but even the way we love people should be an act of worship. With the second commandment, God declares that he is to be heard, but not seen. Just because he's not seen does not mean he's inactive or not present. On the contrary, he's alive and active. The nations around Israel fashioned their own gods out of metal and wood and clay. They immobilized them, creating their own gods and controlling them. Our God cannot be controlled and is alive. The only image worthy of letting us see God was God in the flesh, Jesus, our Savior. God is so intent on this living, exclusive relationship he has with his people, he says, "For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God." Does that seem right, especially in the way that we think of jealousy? I think we often conflate the words jealousy and covetousness. The 10th commandment speaks to covetousness. It's really about contentment. We're to be content with our God and all that he provides. We're not to long for what others have, whether that's their stuff or relationships or influence. Here's the difference between covetousness and jealousy. Covetousness is longing for something that we don't have. Jealousy is keeping something that we should have. So in this case, God is jealous for the worship of his people because that is something he should have. It is that righteous jealousy that motivates the 10 Commandments, that those saved by God would be preserved in that liberty. Here's how God puts it in Deuteronomy 5:29. "Oh, that their hearts would be inclined to fear me and keep all my commandments always, so that it might go well with them and their children forever." God is jealous for our hearts. When his word calls us to fear, it's not calling us to be afraid, but rather to be filled with awe, to be consumed and overwhelmed by just how vast and powerful our God is, and how vast and powerful his love for us is. It's fearful because it cannot be fully grasped. We could be right in translating the verse this way: "Oh, that my people would be jealous for me like I'm jealous for them, keeping these protective and preserving commands so that it may go well for them in every generation." Will we devote ourselves to God's ways in and through our lives? Will we turn from our selfish, evil, self-promoting, godless ways, putting down our sin and picking up righteousness? Will we realize again that regardless of our rule-keeping, it is always God's grace? He's the initiator and sustainer. Will we incline our hearts to fear him, to be jealous for our relationship with him just as he is jealous for us?